And I think a lot of us who are, this is before our time a little bit, forget that these issues, like today, it's the cool thing that whenever anybody brings up, hey, like let's look at some gender equality and let's look at some fairness, whatever. There are the brain dead morons of the world who go, social justice warrior. Just go back and keep humping your sister.
There's a reason I used this clip of John Campea, because he is what I would call a social justice warrior, at least when it comes to his virtue signaling and when it comes to quotas in the movie industry. He is what I personally thought, and many others during Gamergate, where people wanted to have reporting on things, but people like him and Collider Movie Talk, which I'm going to show a few more clips of, they purposefully show their bias and want to push some sort of narrative and have people chosen because they have a certain skin color or a gender which is not a straight white male. And I'm gonna show you through these next few clips that Collider Movie Talk is actually very biased when it comes to this, and they're filled with SJWs who want to have this sort of progressive slash regressive agenda pushed upon the movie industry, and I really, really hate that. I want the best people to make the best movie possible, just like games or anything else, not choose them based on their skin color or what they have between their legs.
The name Zemeckis is that much, more sparkly than Raimi or Vaughn, but that's the problem that I have, is that would I like to see any of these three guys' interpretation of The Flash? Sure, I love a lot of the movies they make, but I see these three names and I see DC continue to hunt for the most famous person they can get to direct a movie, and I would prefer to have a more diverse-looking shortlist than that. I prefer to see more more female and minority directors able to be competing for these jobs, and I don't know what happens behind closed doors. These may be the people that get reported because those are the sexiest names that they have, which is fine, but I would prefer to see a more differentiated looking list. Now, having said that, would I like to see a Robert Zemeckis take on The Flash? Of course I would. But this makes me nervous because you have so many famous directors that have been attached to DC projects, then they get in the room, then they leave a month from, after they signed on the deal. So it bothers me that this is who we're talking about for The Flash, because I'd like to see more of a Marvel model where you take somebody who's a little more unknown, who has done a smaller project and is now ready for the big time, as opposed to people who have already been doing this for so long. They've already done great comic book properties, so let's bring in somebody else and give them a shot.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'm actually kind of happy to see, some of the big boys in contention here, because
I didn't just want to use this one from Mark Ellis, who I didn't really peg as an SJW, but when I hear him say these sort of things, I get really disappointed. He's also one of the two halves of Schmoes No. And I'm also going to introduce you to John Rocha, who is probably the biggest SJW I have ever seen in the movie industry. And I just want you to listen to what first now Mark Ellis had to say, and now John Rocha, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on what they said.
Yeah, I guess I'm in the minority on this panel, because I absolutely think it should be a woman. I'm 100% in charge. In support of this. I love that Patty Jenkins is doing Wonder Woman. I think until we level the playing field, we have to create these situations that let people of race, people of gender to direct certain movies and give them the opportunities to do these things, because they have to establish a certain kind of trust with the audience. So then once we get to the level playing field, then anybody can direct anything. I'm happy with that. But white men specifically, have been directing numerous films for decades upon decades upon decades. And so we need to level the playing field. No different than racism. We have to level the playing field. I didn't like the Michael Mann directed Ali film. I guarantee that Ali film would have been different in Spike Lee's hands, would have been different in African Americans' hands. Absolutely. There's just something something different. There's a reason I enjoyed Creed so much more almost than any of the other Rocky films other than the original Rocky. There's something about the sensibility there that people understand. And I think women can tell these amazing stories about themselves, about their gender. They can go into it. Josh Whedon, absolutely. Josh Whedon, absolutely. All that, absolutely. But then you have Shonda Rhimes, who can tell these amazing stories about women on TV as well that are fantastic and get you to understand the sensibility of women as you're watching this. So to me, until the playing field is level, you have to make these concessions to make up for the years where you ignored women, you ignored people of race, and let them direct these films, level the playing field out. Then absolutely, whoever's the best for the job, give it to them.
So yeah, these are the people that are critiquing and reviewing movies, coming to the premieres, and especially what I've been talking about with the Disney premieres, where John Campea has gone, with the Star Wars premieres, and these are the people who adore these new movies, who are shills on behalf of movie companies, and especially Disney, because they get special interviews or access in general to people in the movies, and get early access to see the movies, and they are defending the direction of the Disney movies, where they include people just because race or gender, where we have Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, where we have a Mary Sue in the main role. We have tokens like the Rose Tico character in The Last Jedi, and there are just these are the people who are giving it 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 best movie ever, and advocating for people to change race or gender on James Bond. They want to just extinguish or just make the straight white male extinct in Hollywood, because they hate these sort of movies. I don't really care what sort of gender or race a character or actor has, or in general in movies. I just want a good movie. And with these people who are critiquing characters and movies and getting special access, and they are advocating this shit on the daily, especially John Rocha. I could probably find a lot more heinous stuff that he has said, but this is the sort of stuff that makes Disney listen to these people, because they are the ones coming to the premieres and praising the movie, saying it's the best thing ever, because look at Rotten Tomatoes, 90% upvote. Black Panther, best movie ever. It has a better rating than classics. So because they want movies like Black Panther, because they have mostly black cast, and that's the best thing ever. Even though the movie can stand on its own feet and be a great movie, it's not about that. It's about pushing an agenda, the SJW agenda of race and gender that is not a straight white male. They don't want people like Luke Skywalker, who people identified and loved for generations after generations, and they want to give you the middle finger and continue to preach every single day they can. He even has this John Rocha guy has his own Star Wars podcast. Same with Mark Ellis, who is with podcast on Collider with Christian Holoff. So these people have influence. If you doubt me, Christian Holoff has interviewed Rian Johnson, and he has interviewed Dave Filoni, who is behind the Clone Wars series and the Rebel series, who's basically the prodigy of George Lucas, I would say. And he even has a planet named after him within the Star Wars universe, Christian Holoff's, called Holoff Minor. And you don't think they somehow shill for Disney in any sort of way? Give me a break. So I'm gonna I'm gonna let Clark Wolf, who is surprisingly not the SJW, on this panel, and I just want to for her to just talk beautifully and sum this up. Even though I don't agree with her 100%, she's the only reasonable voice I've heard on Collider Movie Talk in the past few years.
And I think the director choice is going to be a really important one. I do want to say, though, and you know, I may be in the minority on this, but I am not of the mindset that the Captain Marvel director has to be a woman. I don't believe that only women can tell women's stories the same way I don't believe only men can tell men's stories. I think that there's a lot of the director who's right for the job is right for the job. My best example is Joss Whedon creating Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I can't think of a more empowering and amazing action horror sci-fi show created by a dude. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I do think that Marvel needs to start incorporating more lady directors into their franchises just in general. And that goes for you too, Star Wars. So yeah, I think that take your time, find the right candidate. I think that that's great. But I don't necessarily need for it to be a woman. I need for it to be the right person for the job. And if that happens to be a woman, amazing.
Yeah. What do you think, Perry?
I am completely with you. I don't care who directs this movie as long as it's the right person. And in terms of us getting...
I might chime in just for a second. Even though it didn't go through, Marvel did hire a woman to direct a Thor movie, and you know, it didn't work out, and that's okay, because I think sometimes studios we see directors leave projects all the time.
Sure.
I don't know the inner workings of that story. I do think it would be different if Marvel had gone through with that and a woman had directed one of their mainstream, you know, white male superhero movies. That would have been really interesting, but that's not how it worked out in the long run. But you know, I just think that, yeah, well, that's all I'll say.
Well, Bigelow,
I already said what I needed to say.
Bigelow does a great job directing these male films. Bigelow does a fantastic job with these things. So
Yeah, so let me know what you thought about this video, what you think about Collider Movie Talk. I'm going to continue just to point out the hypocrisy, the shilling, and the SJW tactics that just the movie industry in general does, because all I at the end of the day want is a good movie. I just want to enjoy whatever I put on, if I'm streaming or putting in a DVD or Blu-ray, whatever, and have a good time watching that movie. Not this SJW or regressive left identity politics in movies. I don't want that. And we see that time and time again, it doesn't work. People did not like The Last Jedi, and it had the biggest drop in box office history. We saw Ghostbusters, it bombed because of the SJW narrative, and it's going to continue because people like this are just enabling the industry, because the studio heads, who are stupid, to be honest, are listening to these people who have an agenda and want to have this sort of intersectional feminism crap in movies instead of making good movies. So have meritocracy rule the day and let the best movies shine. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.